Hey everybody, it's Romania Black, and we're on volume 26 of Attack on Titan. I'm not, I'm not looking forward to this one. Because if I'm thinking right, this is the volume that Sasha's gonna die in, so that's fun. I feel like it's very interesting because as the audience, we should expect Sasha to die throughout this entire series. She should be the first off the chopping block, right? Because she was supposed to die back during the contents of season 2. So she was supposed to die way back in like volume 10. So it's like we, as the audience, should have always, the moment that you read that interview where Isayama was like, well, I was gonna kill her, but my editors, convinced me to save her. That should have been the biggest red flag that she's not going to make it to the end of this series. At some point, Isayama is going to have his way. Isayama is going to embody Eren and have his way and get rid of her. But it still hurts every time I think about the anime. It hurts. And so I was like, well, this volume should be fun because I think that's what's going to happen. I do have a lot of comments I want to talk about as we dive into this volume. I really like the cover of it. We'll talk about it. It grew on me. We'll discuss that. But Daki, they were talking in the Discord. They went into a big old tangent about lots of things with the manga. So if you were on the Patreon Discord for Attack on Titan, you can see all their posts on there. But the one thing that stood out is that the scene where Gabby, and Christopher Peterson and I were talking about this too, that it does add something to the story. The fact that you inherit memories from your family easier if you become a Titan from that, which ties to Ymir, her daughters, all of that. It ties to the idea that it's family, the closer. It makes sense with the Titans because it was Ymir and her 3 daughters, and then the 3 daughters spread from there, right? And created the Eldian Empire. And so it makes sense that the closer you are related, the more and easier those memories transfer, right? So that's kind of terrifying because that means the 3 daughters, Rose and Maria and Sina, inherited all their mom's memories immediately, that seems like it would be a lot. So yeah, but I like the idea that it kind of relates to that whole idea of the Titans. The closer you are in terms of blood, the easier it is for those memories to transfer, like you do. But Daki was pointing out how with Gabby inheriting Reiner's memories, the fact that it's not in the anime is to them and to me, a wasted opportunity because it would be something that it makes Gabby a little bit more different than Eren, right? It's the idea of her character motivation. It's not just because we were talking about the Gabby hate that is, prevalent on the internet that I find completely unjustified. I'm like, it's cool if you don't like her character. That's fine. I can see that. But I'm like, to hate her to the extent that a lot of the fandom do, I'm like, I don't understand it. It baffles me. But I feel like if a lot of the anime-only people had seen that Gabby is not just motivated by the fact that she's an Eldian, she's not just motivated by being a soldier, it's her connection to Reiner that is her big motivation. And that scene where she's like, I want to inherit the armor so that the idea that Gabby can understand that Reiner is being guarded, Reiner is not telling her everything that's wrong with him, and as a concerned family member, she's like, I want to understand you. I want to know what's wrong, but you're not talking to me, and I get that. So she's like, in that moment to Reiner, she says, I hope I inherit the armor so I can understand these words we're not speaking and get to know you better. And meanwhile, Reiner is internally screaming, going, no! You don't need to know that. But it adds so much more to Gabby's motivation that she's wanting to do this and become the armor titan for her cousin's sake, to better connect with him. And that in itself is so intriguing. And it's a great contrast to Eren, who, Gabby believes that her inheriting her cousin's memories will be a way for them to connect and grow a deeper bond. Whereas then you see Eren, who has connected and grown a deeper bond with Grisha, and we've seen how that turns out. So it's a great contrast, but I thought that was really well worth mentioning. Viper Leone talks about how in Thrice Upon a Time, one of the Neon Genesis Rebuild movies, Shinji, who is our protagonist in that series, is told by his father, Gendo, that part of becoming an adult is accepting the sacrifices of others. Nobody told Eren that. And I was like, oh my god, yeah, because I think that's a great way to phrase the mentality that Levi has. Levi's no regrets mentality is, hey, live your life with no regrets, but understand the choices of others and that you need to respect that. Like when the Levi squad dies, Levi tries to tell Eren, he's like, hey, yes, it's horrible that these people have died. It's horrible it was on our watch. We can't bring them back. it's tragic. What else can we say? But I think at the end of the day, Levi's like, but it was their choice. They made the decision to they knew the job was dangerous when they took it, and it was their choice, and their sacrifice needs to be respected. That as an adult, you have to understand the sacrifices of others. Eren does not seem to want nor care to do that. And he's like, no, I'll just save everybody. You don't get a choice. And I think that's always been one of my biggest beefs with Eren's character, especially at this point in the story, is that Eren doesn't respect the sacrifices of others. He just is like, no, I'll save you. Just sit here on parody and let me go do it. And Armin and Mikasa are like, do you not respect us as people? Do you not understand that we are autonomous adults and we have a say in this? And Eren's like, you don't. And it's like, and you know where Eren's coming from, that he wants to save them. But at the same time, you're like, but Eren, they're adults. Let them make their decisions too. Don't try to control their lives. Right? Right? So I thought that was interesting to note. And then also, Eren, I liked Viper Leone pointed this out as well, that Eren, the way they phrased this, I really liked it. Eren and Reiner, because they're two sides of the same coin. Eren is a sword who wishes he was a shield, and Reiner is the shield who failed to be a sword. Now, I will correct that a little bit. I think that you should say one way or the other. You should say either Eren is the sword who failed to be a shield, or Reiner, but I guess we don't know that yet, right? Eren's trying to be a shield, but I guess we don't know if he fails or succeeds. And then Reiner is a sword, a shield who wants to be a sword. Huckleberry! My dog is an Aries like Eren, so we shouldn't be surprised. But he's just chasing Ruby around. But the idea is that Eren is technically a sword, Reiner is a shield, and they're trying to be something that they're not. Right? And that's what's so fascinating about that comment, but I like the way that you phrased that. Little Dude asked, how did Zeke know that Levi was an Ackerman? I feel like with a series like Attack on Titan that's so good, people will try to find little plot holes and things that, make it, not perfect. I don't know. I think Zeke could have gotten information from, there were possibly intel on the inside. Who knows? We don't know. Let's not worry about it. But I thought that was a good question to ask. Alex Johnson asks and points out that I didn't talk about this last volume, and I was like, shit, I should have talked about it. But that Eren and Zeke were working together during this entire plan. And I talked about it a little bit last volume, but that means that Eren knew exactly what he was doing during Declaration of War and felt vindicated because of Willie's speech. Like, Eren knew going into this that they were going to kill all these people. There was no other plan. He knew what he was about to do. Him and Zeke orchestrated this entire thing. It all went according to cake. And that's why Mikasa's like, what the hell, man? And he's like, I got this. And it's like, do you? But yeah, and then when he heard Willie's speech and Willie proclaimed that they're going to attack Parody, he's like, well, see, I am justified in what I'm doing. And it's like, no, Eren, no. But yeah. And then, of course, Eren ends up using Zeke in turn for his own agenda. So it's just like Eren in true antagonistic villain fashion, right? And so finally, I have Christopher Peterson, who was noting, talking about, the 5 years on Parody. Again, we talk about plot holes. The 5 years on Parody, why didn't Marley ever check up on them? And I was like, well, in the start of volume 23, we saw that they had been at war with that one group for the last 4 years. So it doesn't seem like it's maybe unheard of that being at war for 5 years and being out of contact, maybe that wasn't a big deal. Now, to me and to Christopher Peterson and you all, it probably seems like, wow, that's like half the Titans' lives. Shouldn't we probably check up on them because we're wasting a lot of time here? Could be conquering a lot of other lands, but whatever. At this point, it didn't matter. So I thought that was interesting to note. And then finally, I realized that the last volume, and I'm sure that I'll get lots of comments about it. I'm preparing myself mentally as I record this, that I was trying to, in a lot of ways, play devil's advocate, play Eldian's advocate for all different kinds of parties, saying this is why Eren was doing this is what Willie was trying to do intentionally or unintentionally, this is what this motivation was, blah, 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 and trying to justify a lot of people's actions in the last volume. But then Christopher Peterson noted this, and I'm like, I should have just gone with this. This would have explained everything. About how Armin had noted in the series that there is no plan that is good for everyone. That's it. That again, going back to Erwin Smith's words, as long as there are two people, you're going to have a conflict at some point. Armin's words of how there are no good plans for everyone. Someone is going to get left out at some point. Someone is going to have to sacrifice something for someone else. There's going to have to be compromise, and somebody's going to lose out on something that they feel they deserve. There's going to be freedoms traded for freedoms, and that's just how the world works. You can't please everyone. And it's like Willie and Tiber are trying to save the world and help the Eldians at the expense of parity. Eren's trying to save parity at the expense of everything else. And, you know, you have different factions doing different things. I guess the point of the story, though, is that knowing that you are not going to satisfy everyone and not everybody's going to get their way, then the answer becomes, or the question becomes, how do we manage to survive in this world then without killing each other? And there are answers to that question, and I feel like Armin, if I'm remembering correctly from the anime, Armin and the others are going to kind of like point this out. But the idea is like, yeah, and that goes back to Mr. Browse talking to Sasha. He's like, yeah, we're going to have to sacrifice part of our lifestyle to benefit somebody else, but that doesn't mean we can't get something good out of it or see the good in it. Mr. Browse is a freaking saint. And so even back in, you know, season 2 content, he was telling Sasha, again, the point of the story, that you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit to get what you want. And this ain't like Hamilton, where you wanted what you got and you got what you wanted, you know. You got more than you gave and you got when you wanted what you got. You know, it's not like that scenario. But yeah, I feel like Eren cannot justify in his mind the concept that things will have to be sacrificed without violence. And Armin's like, but we can do this without violence. Uri and Kenny have proven that. It's just a matter of how you go about it, and both parties have to be willing to come to the table and not kill each other. And that's the hardest part of all, right? Getting both parties to come to the table and not want to hurt each other. So I wish I had known that going into volume 25, because I go on all these big tangents and then y'all are like, well. But yes, I'm very excited to get into this volume and talk about it with you all. I've gone on long enough. We're not going to waste any more time. We are going to dive right in to volume 26 of Attack on Titan and see what we get. So we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. I didn't like this cover at first. I thought it was plain at first. I do like the stars and the purple and everything. Purple's one of my favorite colors, so I liked that. But at first I was like, oh, it seems kind of plain. But now you can see the blimp. You can see the airship coming in to save them all in the background. I like Mikasa and Levi are at the forefront, the Ackermans, right? Then you have Jean and Connie, and then you have Sasha behind. And Sasha just looks dead inside, which she will soon be inside this manga dead. So it's dark humor. We can only laugh so we don't cry, right? But yeah, I do like this cover more. The more I stare at it, the more I appreciate it. I think it's a good cover. Fun times. Mikasa being the cover person. That's interesting. Oh, wow. We're getting Brave Volunteers this chapter. This volume. Ooh, okay. And my dogs are going crazy, chasing each other. You know, like you do. But yeah, Assault Victors, Assassin's Bullet, and then Brave Volunteers. Wow, I can't believe we're getting Brave Volunteers now. That's interesting. Okay, and we have everybody. Oh my god, and they've included the Warhammer Titan saying, any final words? That's just cruel, Isayama. You put her in this just to have her say any final words? Oh my god, and they put the X's through Sophia and Udo. Damn, Isayama, that's cruel. That is cruel. The younger sister of Willie, the head of the Tiber family. They had concealed that she was the heir to the Warhammer. Damn. Oh my god. Oh, Reiner's little hand around Falco. Oh my god. Yeah, what a weird time to wake up, Falco. Could you imagine? This seems like one of those pieces of artwork where you have to try to find all of the things, like it's like a scavenger hunt piece of artwork. You're like, well, there's the Survey Corps, there's the Beast Titan, there's Porco, there's Spikes, there's Eren, there's Mikasa swinging from the tree that Eren is in. I don't understand the full. Let me say this. I know the tree is important in this series. I don't want to know the full capacity or the reasoning. I know Eren wakes up in front of the tree at the very start of this series, and there's some symbolic meaning to it that we don't understand fully. I know you have the paths that make the tree. There's all of that, and the branches that go out for Eldia. I know there's symbolic meaning behind it, but yeah, the Warhammer thing making the tree that Eren's stuck in, that's fun. Fun times. And then there's poor Falco being saved by Reiner. I love that, right? And then Zeke's trying to crush the boulders to throw at them. And Eren's trying to eat the Warhammer Titan. And Falco's, what the? God, I love Falco. He's great. And then, oh my God, the Warhammer Titan. She just staring at Mikasa. Oh my God. Is that Mr. Kruger? No. Jaeger, you tricked me. And then, oh my gosh, did they live here? Oh, Captain Braun. He used his own body to protect me. Yeah, Reiner wanting to be a sword when he's actually a shield. Oh, I love it. I freaking love Reiner. Oh, sir, it's my fault. The injured should heal himself as long as he has a strong will to live. Oh, but yeah. But then Falco's like, but he doesn't have a strong will to live. He says, not everyone out there is an enemy. There's me and Gabby. All of us are on your side. That line, not everyone is an enemy. Yeah, that is such a line, because right now Eren's like, no, everybody's pretty much an enemy. And it's like, no. And then Jean and them and Zeke. It's so weird seeing the Beast Titan again. I know it's not been that long, but it's just weird to see them all in this capacity, right? And then, yep. Oh, and is that Jean near peak, or what are we doing? The Panzer unit. Nope, that's this other guy. Galliard. Thanks, Pock! You saved us there. We lost sight of Ackerman. Meanwhile, like, Eren's like a little kid trying to eat a corn on the cob over here. Oh my God. Oh! Ew. Ew, yeah. It tried to eat her, and then Eren's whole mouth like rides off. I love that she's just sitting there like, bitch, no. I love she doesn't look like, she just sits there just staring at him like, how dare you? Just like Annie. But you've used up your strength. And there's like all the cracks in the crystal. And so Eren pops out of, damn, he popped out of the Titan and then turned again. Man. I mean, that shows in itself how much Eren has been practicing with his Titan form, because he immediately jumps out of one and turns into like a fully formed other version, whereas back in season 3 that wouldn't be possible. And then I like that Peak's like, there's no need to panic. Okay, and I like that Porco is trying to think up different solutions, and Peak's like, let's not lose our cool, right? And Zeke's like, precisely, Peak. And he says, Eren Jaeger is not my enemy. Someone else comes first. Show yourself, Levi. Again, now, we were talking about this in the comments, now that you know that Zeke was kind of betraying all of them, the betrayal's pretty obvious, like in different portions of the manga at this point. Once you figured it out, it's like, oh, it's been there all along. And I remember that line about Eren not being an enemy in the anime being like, that's a weird thing to say. You didn't need to say that. And Levi's like, you can't afford to wait, can you? And Levi's like, don't you dare, you bitch, insult me with Erwin. Nope. And then, oh, Falco. And Magath, where have you been? Are you hurt? I do love that Magath, the first thing he says is, are you hurt? Like he cares about them, right? And then Gabby shows up with the dead stare in her eyes with the damn gun, right? And then we have, yep, the little rowboat and Armin. And that's where he's been the whole time. And it shows him like biting his tongue. Yeah. And he just does not look happy to be there. Ugh. Yeah. And then, yep, there goes the boats and everything. And the warships. That's the part that sucks, is that Armin didn't want to do any of this, and Eren forced his hand to do it. And I know people will be like, well, they didn't have to. I'm like, then Eren would have died. So they did have to do it to go rescue Eren. And Eren was fully aware that this was going to be the situation. But Eren doesn't think that they all have this Eren doesn't realize they have the sympathies that he doesn't have, you know? He's like, run now. They took out our port. The only one who can do that is the Colossus Titan. Stolen from him. Bertolt had his life and Titan stolen from him. And yeah, of course, Porco gets angry about it. Yeah. It's like, oof. And then that's when he charges at Eren. That's a great motivation for Porco to go after him, but... And then the other Ackerman, and Mika says, like, I wasn't responsible. I did want to make this decision, but it wasn't me. Okay. Oh, we see Luisa there, right? She's with all the Jean and the others there. And the enemy attack. Okay. But then Levi strikes the Beast Titan down. That's so interesting there because, yeah, if you didn't know any better, you'd be like, okay, Zeke got struck down in the chaos. Makes sense. But the way Peak looks for a second, she's like that was a weird thing to happen. Ah. Oh, uh-huh. Damn. That look of Levi. Oh. And they take Zeke into custody, and you know that Levi is just pissed. Because he's like, I want to kill you, but we've been told to take you into custody, but I really would like to just get rid of you right now. But then we'd lose the Beast Titan, and we can't do that. Because they're planning on Historia eating the Beast Titan at some point. Ah. And then, yeah, Zeke just collapsing right in front of them, and there's Levi with the blood. Hey, it almost looks like he's saying, what's up? Ridiculous. And he's like, get down, Gabby. And then he lights the grenade, and they think... And I like that Peak is just like, did they really just kill Zeke? That seems too weird, right? But he ends up taking him instead and using the grenade as a mask, right? And then Sasha next to the wagon. And then Carlo. Yep, shot right in the head. And then Jean saying, I never got to thank you for the last time. And he fires the Thunder Spear at him, but it ricochets off of the mask. Oh. And the thing that crushes me here is I can just see Mr. Browse in my head as Sasha's shooting that gun. I can just see Mr. Browse saying, she stayed in the forest too long. And then the mask pops off. Oh, yeah, with the eye and everything. Yep. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Isayama. This is a lot more grisly than the anime. Like, she lost a leg, half her face, her arm. Oh, my God. Falco and Gabby are just like, they're just dropping. There's all this gore and blood and guts everywhere, like, just all around them. And Falco's like, stop it. Don't shoot. I'm begging you. Falco just saved Peak's life. Because Jean was the perfect person to say don't shoot. And made Jean hesitate. Oh. I think it's so impactful that Isayama chooses, of all the rubble and destruction to show in this first page, it's that of a child. To say that whatever the reason was behind them doing all of this, however you want to try to justify it, of, oh, they were saving Eren, oh, they had to do this to save Eren, whatever, the fact of the matter is there's a dead child there that didn't do anything. Also, the colossal Titan's feet are weird. They don't look like regular feet. They look like almost like elephant feet, which would make sense with the rumbling and all that. Oh. Victors. Damn. Yeah, and then you see like just the devastation of those one footprints from the one Titan. The footprints through. And man, Armin. I like that Isayama makes the Colossus Titan with Armin inside look different from Bertolt. It's a different form, but Like, Armin just looks miserable. And the chapter title being called Victors, it's like, this doesn't feel like a victory. It just feels, it feels very hollow. Oh. Wow. And Armin just crying, being like, so this is what you saw. Up to the airship. Again, I feel like that is further justification for why Armin tries so hard to stop the impending violence from happening in the future, because Armin's like, Armin has been able, through Bertolt, to see what was on the other side. That's the thing, too. Eren inherits everything from Grisha and Kruger, who were all people that were technically on the same side against Marley that he is. So he doesn't ever get the chance to see things through the opposition's viewpoint. Eren always is just kind of justified even further in what he does from seeing the atrocities that have happened towards people who are like-minded, right? Whereas Armin is seeing things and realizing through Bertolt's eyes that these people that I was against as an enemy were seeing things the same way I'm seeing them now, and I'm seeing just how bad they were, and realizing we both were horrified by the same things. So it adds a little bit more to Armin, right? Bertolt. And Jean can't do it. He aims it, but he misses, right? Oh, goodness. And it misses. Yep. I missed. Did the steam sense off course, or was it my aim? Nope. And then they get Peek out. Yep. Damn. Poor Peek. But Magatha's like, I'm not letting him go down without a fight. He's like, Braun, give Grice a hand. And he says, fall back. And then Falco and Gabby grabbing Peek and going off with her. So then it's just Porco and Eren, which is a bad matchup because Porco is not stronger than Eren, right? And he's also extremely emotional and is worried about Zeke and Peek possibly being dead. And so he gets mad. And against Mikasa and Eren, it's just not a good thing. And that's when Eren gets the idea of, oh, I can just use Porco as a nutcracker. Which is, again, oh my god, like the scratches on his face. Oh, it's like Eren got in a battle with the worst cat. And he's like, Eren's like, I could totally use this. Okay, but then Peek, yeah. The Cart Titan isn't tough as some of the others. It's not like the armor. And then Gabby's like, where's Reiner? Can't he fight? Oh my god, Gabby's face. She's like, well, where is he? He's under a building. Oh. And he's like, do you think we could leave Reiner out of it this time? Falco's trying to say, Reiner's not in a great place mentally. Maybe we should just leave him out. And she's like, Udo and Zofia, Eren killed them all. And then they're looking, Jean, it's here. Yep. And there's the airship. Oh my god, yep. And there's Anyan with Hanji and Armin. Okay. If anyone's late, that's it for them. That's if the airship doesn't get shot down first. This is a reckless plan. So this is Armin's plan. Did you get possessed by Erwin's ghost or something? And of course, Armin's still doubtful of himself because he's like, if I had, we would have been stronger. If we can't retrieve everyone in Eren, we don't have a future. Ugh, damn. So, and then that's when Porco gets down in the pit next to Mikasa. She slashes his legs, and that's when Eren uses Porco. And that's the one time that the Tiber sister looks terrified. She's like, oh shit. And Eren's just standing like a hungry hippo underneath it all. Crap. Oh my god. Oh. To be fair, that sucks for Porco to know that his jaw was used to kill her. Oh. Eren looks like such a villain in this arc. He's just like, it's like, well, you don't feel, at least I don't feel triumphant joy from Eren killing all these people. It's like, this just feels wrong and feels just disturbing. And then Eren Having eaten the Warhammer Titan. It's so weird. Because it's like he eats the Warhammer Titan, but he's still conscious during it. And next is Galliard. Oh my god, Eren was just gonna eat all of them. Just collect all of them, be done with it. Which I don't know if that's like an in-game thing. I don't want Falco or Reiner or Armin to die, so don't want that to happen. So I'm like, ugh. And then it's like, Reiner, save him. And Reiner's like, shut up, just be quiet. Oh, save him. Reiner, oh. And Peak, please be quiet. Why won't any of you just let me die in peace? This is probably of all the chapters of Attack on Titan, this feels the most like Bleach. It feels the most like a shonen, like battle anime. It feels the most, especially because Reiner's head isn't Titan shaped. It just looks like Reiner's head. They made Reiner to a hot Titan. And I'm like, why? What is happening? It just feels so weird. It's the weirdest thing. Like, they don't give Reiner, like, he looks humanoid. It's just the most bizarre thing. It feels like Type Kubo stepped in for like a hot second and was like, Isayama, can I draw this? And then he was like, sure, go for it. But it doesn't last long. It's like, oh shit, nope. Reiner just gets instantly KO'd. And that's when Mika shows up and she's like, I think we're done here. He's out of strength. And God, Eren's eyes. Where he's just like, but Reiner got Porco. He did grab him. He grabbed him from him. Eren's eyes are so freaky there. He won't be able to kill us right now. And Mika says like, then let's go. She's like, let's not go any further. And I love that Eren, after causing all this death and destruction, after causing like everything, he's just like, bye, Reiner. Like, Eren! Like, it's just like, Eren's like, okay, bye. And she's like, let's go back home. She's like, you've caused enough damage here, Eren. And he's just, and Eren looks sad to see Reiner like that, because there's a part of me that, you know, thinks like Eren is sad at what he's doing. But then I'm like, I want to slap him and shake him and be like, why are you being stupid? If you know this is wrong, why? We've talked about this in the anime a lot. We've talked about this a lot. And then Gabby's like hell, they're retreating. She's like, I'm going after them. They're not getting away. I promise you I'm going to kill them. And you know what? That's not unlike Levi's promise to kill the Beast Titan. Like, Gabby's making a similar promise of people she cared about died, and she's like, I'm going to get revenge for them. That's not unlike Levi promising that for Erwin. And then there's the airship. Assassin's bullet. Oh my god. I was really, really looking forward to seeing this chapter specifically when we got to the manga, because it's such a heavy chapter. And there's our trio. And the thing about it is, this goes back to when they're coming out of the chapel and Armin lifts his hand down to pick up Eren. And in the chapel scene, back in season 3, Armin was so happy to see Eren, and Eren had just sacrificed himself to save all of them under the chapel. And it was like this, oh, Eren, you sacrificed yourself, you did this, that's great. Here, Mikasa doesn't look happy because they've killed people. Armin doesn't look happy because he's killed people. And it's almost like Armin is giving Eren that look of disappointment, like instead of you protecting people this time, you killed people. And you don't look sorry. And it's just that look of disappointment. Like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed, which is inherently worse. And then Levi, I can't believe how filthy you are. You fell in a pile of shit. And Eren still calls Levi captain. Still does it. Yep, and Levi's love language is just beating the shit out of people. Like, how dare you? And Mikasa's like, no. And Armin's like, let's have this go. This really brings me back. You're as easy to kick as ever. Yep. And Eren gets kind of like sassy here where he's like, there's nothing wrong. Nothing I wrote in the letter was wrong. Was that enough to earn your understanding? And Levi's like, how dare you? You know? Just like every rotting piece of shit I saw in the underground. I never thought I'd see you like this. Uh-huh. I like that Levi's like, you look like how the people I saw down in the underground that were just in despair and desperate and had lost the will to live. You look like them. And granted, yes, ever since Eren learned about Grisha's memories, he's not like the go-getter kid that he once was. There's like a part of him has died. And the way he looks in these panels, he just looks done with everything. And Levi's like, you just look like you've lost the will to live, like those people in the underground that I saw. And then Eren says, it all went the way you wanted to, so cheer up. And there's, yeah, Zeke. The moment you see the steam, you should know that it's Zeke. But yeah, what the heck, right? And then the one guy, oh yeah, Lobov, the recruit. I don't need the garrison or those overpaid geezers. And then Sasha and Connie getting Jean up there. 6 deaths are confirmed. Compare that to and then of course Flock comes in like a damn Flock comes in like the incel that he is. I'm like, what is this? He's like, it's a victory. The new Eldian Empire's first battle has been a major victory. Like, you can tell Jean is like, this is not what we're not conquerors. We're not out here to conquer anybody. We're doing this to stay alive. But Flock's like, we're gonna go invade everywhere. And Jean's like, no, we're not. I love that Jean's like, really? Rejoice, that's how we'll pay tribute to our 6 fallen heroes. It's just the same as everything before, right? And Jean's like, I wonder how many more battles and how many more we'll need to kill. And Connie's like, I don't want to think about that. So let's just be happy that we all survived together. You guys are really special to me. Sasha like smiling and grabbing Connie's arm. That should have been the sign, right? Should have been the sign. Oh, that's the big death flag there. Oh, I hate it. I hate it here. And so Stu, that hurts. Don't hug people when they've got all that iron on. Oh, someone who just tried to trim a beard, they just started growing. Oh. And then Gabby, meanwhile, is going after him. Oh. That look on Gabby's face when Falco's like, stop. Our enemies are flying off. There's no point in running after them. And she's like, Sophia, half her body was crushed by the flying debris. She was talking just next to me. And Udo was trying to save her, but he was trampled until his head cracked open. The gate guards, they yelled at me because I tried to go to the plaza. They were trying to stop me, an Eldian. They were saying it'd be dangerous. And they were shot and killed by that woman on the roof. People would spit at the sight of me walking around. I had an awful lot of experiences here. And that's why I tried so hard to prove that I was good. And I was able to make it this far because I believed eventually the day would come I wouldn't need this armband. But now it's all been wiped out. This internment zone, whatever you want to say about it, is my home. And the people I love here, if someone tramples over it, I'm not forgiving them. So how dare you tell me not to run? And then Falco's thinking about what Eren and Reiner said. Why did that have to happen to innocent people? Why did so many people have to be eaten alive? I don't understand. And then that's when Falco says, our enemies were attacked by Marley and warriors. This is their revenge. And she's like, well, did you see that? And he's like, no, I didn't see it. And neither did I. And that's the problem, is that Falco is starting to see from Eren and Reiner's conversation that they're all the same. And he's like, if we just keep fighting, it's just going to continue this cycle. And I'm glad that in the long run, Gabby gets to go over and be with Kaya and find that out and realize it and ditch the armbands and do all that. Like, I'm glad that all ends up happening. But like in the moment, she's this little kid And you just see how the cycle is perpetuated so easily and how it seems so justifiable. And I'm like, how do you all hate her? Like, this all makes sense. Like, it's the exact same as the beginning of the series. They're savages. They're not like us. But Falco's like, but no, they are like us. That's the thing. And so, of course, Falco, like, goes after her being like, I gotta stop her from killing herself, because otherwise, if I don't stop her, what's gonna happen? And Falco going after Gabby, like, Gabby going after Sasha on the ship is the same thing as the rumbling with Eren. It's the same thing. Eren causes the rumbling because he believes the rest of the world are monsters and they're trying to kill the people that he loves. Gabby believes that the rest of the Eldians and Parody are monsters because they killed the people that she loves. So she's like, it's the same thing. Same thing. And Falco going after her to try to stop her from doing this stupid idea is basically Armin and the others going after Eren to try to stop him from doing this stupid idea. So Isayama's like, do you see parallels? They've been here all along, but do you see them? And she's like, it's still connected. And Falco's like, what are you doing? You're going to get yourself killed, stupid. You'll carry my spirit forward, right? And then he's like, I'm not leaving you. And that's when, oh God, I forgot Colt was going after them. You were a good guy. And yeah, that's when Falco remembers what Reiner said. And he's like, I'm not going to let Gabby go. Oh my God. He's like, I'm heir to the armored titan, so I'm not going to let you go. Uh-huh. And that's when Sasha saw it. Or heard it. Ugh. Quiet down. I heard something. Oh. Yep. Oof. And that's when she shot Sasha. Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh. And she was going to fire again. And that's when, oh my God. And John was going to fire at her. And that's when Falco jumped in. Yeah, if Falco hadn't have jumped in there, then she would have been dead. Oh. Oh my God. You're so loud. Oh. Oh my God. And John with his head in his hands. And Connie looking so like he doesn't know what to do. Connie just sitting there watching her. And John being like, what do we do? And that's when John's like, is throwing some kids out of an airship going to stop all this bloodshed? And then Colt standing there next to next to Lobob. Oh. Peak. I remember now the Marley and soldier. Yep. It was a goatee. It looks so unnatural. Uh-huh. And here's Yelena. Yeah, there we go. Everyone else likes it. Oh, we don't really get to see Yelena there, right? Oh my God. And Gabby is just, oh my God. You can say all that again to his face. Oh my God. Gabby just looks so feral there. Mm-hmm. And then that's where Zeke is. Yep, you can see him. I had a personal interest in her. I can see why people would ship Peek and Yelena now. I can see where people would ship Peek and Yelena. I like Jean and Peek, but I can accept Peek and Yelena. I can accept that ship. She's one of Zeke's followers. Damn. Gabby and Falco, why are you here? Man, she's so tall, Yelena. Have you been captured? Oof. Oof. Who are these brats? They killed Lobob and used his equipment. This girl shot Sasha. Damn, John just saying there's no hope for her. And Armin and Mikasa running after. Oh my god. Okay. Would you say everything went to plan, Zeke Yeager? For the most part, but there were a number of miscalculations. Who are these kids? Miscalculations. Oh, that line. Oh, that line's so harsh. What happened to you locking down the jaw in the cart? And Yelena's like, it's my fault. I let them get away. Uh-huh. And that's why Levi's like, there were more pellets than were initially planned. That was improv act. Wouldn't you agree, Beardy? Uh-huh. And then Zeke's like, don't glare at me like that. You're a pretty good actor yourself, considering how much you actually want to kill me. And Levi's like, yes, that is very much true. Yes, I'm the type of person who saves the best part of the meal for last. And like, yeah, Zeke and Levi were about to go at each other's throats. Oh, and then Eren comes in. We killed the leaders of the Marleyan army and destroyed its naval fleets and ports. We bought ourselves some time. And then Hanji's like, oh, you mean before the entire world comes down on us with a coordinated attack? Yes. We risked our lives to get you back every time you've gotten yourself captured, no matter how many of us have to die. Yeah, Hanji just pointed that out, being like, we've had to rescue you several times, but you planned it. I like that Hanji in this moment is like, we've had to rescue you several times because you've accidentally been captured, but this time you got yourself captured on purpose, and it was one of the worst times. You knew that, and you pushed yourself ahead to make yourself a hostage. You got what you wanted. You left us with no choice. You put your trust in us, and we've lost our trust in you. And Zeke's like, well, we got what we needed, though. Eldia will be free. Sasha's dead. Oh my god. Oh. What were her last words? Meat is what she said. That expression, oof. Sasha died because you got the Survey Corps involved in this. Oh, and Eren's face. Yeah, the anime makes him look a lot more like maniacal and like he's laughing, but that's not what's happening here. Like Eren looks absolutely in pain. Like he's lost someone. That's so sad. And the rumbling. Yeah. And it's just so hard because it's like, it didn't have to happen. It didn't. I feel like a lot of my grievances with Eren and his plan I have talked about in the anime at length. So it's just this chapter. What's so frustrating with this chapter too is that there's not a big fanfare about it. Like there's not Sasha having a big montage of her times with all of them, and there's like, you know, a big you could see in a manga like there'd be like a montage double spread of like all these collage of moments together, and she's like dying there. It's not dramatic. It's not played off as being this big giant monumental moment. It's just, no, she's dead. Oh. Oof. I forgot Armin talks to Annie during this part. You wouldn't know what to say to this with the shell. Oh, yeah. 3 years ago. A time we might have been able to change something. Wow, so we're going back 3 years. Back when Armin's like, we should have done something back then and we didn't do it. A devil. And then Hanji's like, welcome! We got this guy, hello! Welcome to Parody. And then Niccolo. Isn't that right, Niccolo? Oh my god. So it's Niccolo. I always call him Nikolai. And then they end up, and there's Yelena. Put down your weapons. Yelena's eyes being solid black. I feel like Isayama did that to primarily distinguish her from Armin. I know that she's a lot taller than Armin, but her haircut is about the same, so I feel like to make her look different than Armin, he made her eyes like pitch black. It's a great look. I like Yelena's design. But yeah, I've so wanted to meet you, Eren. You're the brother of the man I'm in love with. And then everybody, that big lady shot her comrades. We can't trust them, whether they're on our side or not. Yeah, all these things aside. It's also so weird to see all of them like looking before the time skip. And this is the part that always got me, was that Armin's like, being able to talk to them is an incredible chance to gather intelligence. Like, Armin's like, if we can talk to them, we can learn about them, we can understand them, like Armin. And then Eren comes in like to suck the air out of the room. Eren's like, yeah, we got lucky. It wasn't anything that we did that kept them from landing here. If the Marleyans were serious, they would have come in force. We have to do something. Like, Eren is just so frustrated because he sees that there are people that are coming that could hurt them, and he doesn't know what to do. And you can tell Eren is frustrated about it. But Armin's like, well, maybe we could try this other thing, you know? And Eren's just like, it was never on the table with Eren. Eren misses every opportunity to have that. It was just never a possibility. And Armin's trying to consider all the possibilities. And then we have all of the information that are dumped from Yelena and Anyan onto them. It's like, you killed all the pure titans on the island. It's amazing. I'm in awe. Wow. I like the way that Yelena's face is animated there. She's like, really? You killed all the pure titans? What? Like, that's a really good drawing of her face. Because they've entered a state of war with an alliance of several other nations. They've got bigger things to worry about. This war started in the first place because of you. You stole some of their key weapons. They're a nation with many enemies, and other nations came together in a blink of an eye, and a war began. And then Hanji's like, oh, you guys are sleeper agents. I figured it out. You know, calling us sleeper agents would be an overstatement. We're conscripts, natives of lands that Marley invaded, who were drafted. We were sure we'd never have a chance to oppose them until we met him. Oh my god, look at Yelena! A titan known and feared by the world as a devil, but he looked like a god. Oh my god, and showed us hope. Yeah, she was done. Yelena was like hardcore done. We are the anti-Marleyan volunteers, and our goal is to free the Eldian people. Again, everybody has different goals, everybody has different agendas, all of this. Yep. So it is interesting to learn about Marley and to know the context that Marley was not just this struggling country over the years. That they were feared by a lot of people, and they made a lot of enemies, and it seems like Willie was just holding it all together, being like, oh, hey, don't be so mad at us, you know? Like, it just seems like one of those scenarios. Zeke Yeager's requests are as follows. Accept him onto the island for the remainder of the time he has left, which would be at this point 3 years. Or 4 years altogether. Introduce him to the soldier who possesses the founding titan, his half-brother, Eren. And Eren's got his, like, growing out hair going on. I wonder if Eren knew at this point from the Attack Titan memories that he was going to need to grow out his hair to go to Marley, or if he had already started putting this plan into motion and that's why he was growing his hair out. I thought about that last volume. It doesn't make any sense. Why else? He's just in his rebellious phase. And they'll provide us the greatest technology. And finally, he'll provide intelligence. And they're like, no, why would we take his requests? Why would we do this? According, there's a secret plan that can be carried out that will solve all the Eldians' problems at once. But he needs the founding titan and a titan with royal blood. The world can be saved if we have those two things. But he can only reveal his plan after those conditions are met. And that's when Eren's like, oh, the one time I was able to activate the powers of the Founding Titan was the moment I touched it with a Titan of royal blood, which was Dinah. And the Titan had the same face as someone in the photograph that my father had left me. I came in contact the day she wandered the land as a pure Titan, and that saved my life. Zeke is Dinah's son. He has to have figured it out too. And Mika says, like, we're just now figuring this out? The way to use the thousands of Titans sleeping inside the walls and crush the world to dust. How to activate the one hope left to us Eldians. Yeah, so Eren, at this moment, 3 years ago, Eren says his whole plan, like what it is. He's like, oh yeah, so we just need to get, the Founder Titan has to get with the Titan of Royal Blood, activate the one hope we have left, which is the thousands of Titans, and crush the world to dust. And his eyes have like this gleam in them, and there's like sunlight shining down on him. Yeah, and at this point, Eren realizes, oh, I don't need to use Historia. Zeke is of royal blood. I'll just use him instead. Like this is it. This is the moment the whole plan was activated. And Armin's like, Eren, wait a minute. And then Levi's like, why'd you keep quiet about that the whole time? And he's like, because I was concerned about Historia. I didn't want to allow her to become a Titan. I didn't want that. It was a thoughtless decision. And Levi's like, we'll talk about that later, right? Levi's like, you can tell Levi's frustrated. And then Hanji's like, this plan makes sense too. What they don't know is Zeke wants to use the power of the Founder to make them all like not able to have kids and euthanize them all. Yep. So that's why they're like, we need communication and other means. I love how Isayama draws Yelena so sexily. It's like he just like, she oozes sex appeal, which is interesting. Like there's not really a character, I think aside from, Kenny's like a weird example of it, but I feel like Yelena is the one that's like, has this femme fatale vibe to her, but she's not a femme fatale. It's interesting, right? And then there's the colossal Titan. Yep, welcome to our filthy island home to defiled devils. Uh-huh. It was fun back then. Because, yeah, Armin saying it was fun back then because nobody was dying. We were just learning information and getting people on the island to help us. We were feared and hated by people on the other side of the sea whose faces we didn't even know. But not all these people were our enemies. And again, this is the moment where they're talking with Anyan and them. Eren isn't there. He's not seeing, he's not learning like the others, right? And he's like, it's a hot spring, you stupid perv. It's a place where ships can lower anchor. Yes, precisely, Hanji. Exactly, Hanji. It's like Anyan's version of Zeke there. I love Anyan and Hanji's little banter here. I don't really ship Anyan and Hanji, but I could. But I like that their friendship here. It's fun. I always consider Hanji like an asexual character. They're not really interested in anybody, but I love their friendship with Anyan. And he's like, well, who made us? The one who gave power to Ymir, the Founder. A god, that's what some people think. But we're all free to think as we like, no? I like Yelena in that shot because Yelena looks like she's like agnostic. She looks like she's maybe atheist, doesn't believe in that higher power. But Armin's just like the possibility that there is something else out there. And you can just see the gleam in Armin's eyes of like seeing that there's stuff outside of the world that he doesn't understand or know about. And he's like, oh, this is so good. And he's like, the world is so complicated and full of unknowns. And the thing about it is, like, the unknowns in these scenes with all of them are treated like a good thing. Armin's like, the world's full of unknowns, but that's not a bad thing. That means you can learn things and broaden your horizons and everything, right? And then, of course, like, Sasha just bites into the lobster. Niccolo, you're a genius. And Niccolo's like, what? Like his little blush. Learn some manners. Ooh, that's a hard cut. Damn. We hard cut from like them learning all these things and doing everything to Eren firing a gun and ignoring all of it. And Armin being like, the port's gonna be done soon. We were suspicious of each other at first, so we started off slowly. But once the time passed, we started looking at each other not as people, not labels. And Armin being like, I think we can understand one another. Yeah. And Armin's like, yeah, if we, you know, it's slow, but I think we can make it work. But Eren can't see that. It's like, did you see anything in Bertolt's memories? He's like, oh, nothing that seemed useful. We don't have time. Zeke has 3 years left to live. Eren just doesn't think there's time, and Eren thinks that it's not important. Eren, it's so fascinating because Armin is thinking like, it feels almost like Armin is trying to do something. Armin doesn't care if he dies. Armin's like, I got 8 years left on this planet at this point. By the time we start where we are now, he's like, I got 8 years left. Armin's like, I don't care if I end up dying. He's like, I want to start fostering a relationship between us and the outside world that could be something. And Eren is so, what's so frustrating is Eren, you understand why Eren wants to do this. You understand that Eren loves his friends. He loves Armin and Mikasa so much, and he wants to save them. And Eren's just like, don't you guys get it? We only have a few years left together. I want you guys to be safe and us to enjoy it. And it's like, but Eren, like, do you think it's okay for us to go along with Yelena's plans? And Armin says, I wonder if the only way to protect us is really to threaten the world with the rumbling. It would be like a nightmare. The whole world would have to live in fear. Can't we talk before things get that bad? We can speak to Marley and the others around the world once the port is done if we just resolved our misunderstandings. And Eren's like, what do you mean misunderstandings? He's like, you know, like people thinking we're scary. The world sees us as monsters that can turn into titans. Are they wrong about that? And Mikasa's like, but we've been able to get along with some of them. And he's like, how many? And she's like, if we spent more time. And Armin's like, yes, we need time. And Eren's like, and to buy us that time, we've got to keep them from messing with us. But that was never the plan. That's the thing that's so frustrating is Eren frames it as, yeah, we'll use the rumbling to buy us some time, but he's lying to them. He's going to use it to kill them all. And I'm in Team Armin in all this. I'm like, yes, you could resolve your misunderstandings because Eren's like, we're monsters. They have a right to fear us. And I'm like, but that's everyone. So I just want to shake him. Shake him. I wonder if there was a different path. I keep coming back to that. Yeah, and poor Falco and Gabby being taken away. And Zeke looking back their direction at them. And Eren with his back turned on the world. Today was the funeral for 8 soldiers who died in the last operation, including Sasha. I thought I understood Eren better than anyone, even Mikasa. But I don't understand him anymore. Eren was ready to do it by himself. Whether we helped him or abandoned him, the outcome would have been awful either way. And it shows them all sitting there as he's reading the letter, as Hanji's reading the letter. And Armin just looks so terrified. But now we've killed a huge number of people. Nothing was left untouched, not battleships, not soldiers, not civilians. We showed up out of nowhere and took everything from them, just like what happened to us that day. Then again, if the military port had been left intact, Marley would have launched an immediate counterattack on the island. We've abandoned any hope for peace now, but we had to do it. Just like the 3 of you that day. Right, Annie? Please say something. It's what's so frustrating. It makes you want to cry because it's like... It's like you understand what Eren's end goal is and you understand why he's doing it and it makes sense, but then you're like, Eren, you're repeating the same mistakes that have been made before you. And Eren doesn't seem to care that he's making the same mistakes because he believes it's a means to an end, but it's like, but that end is just something that Eren wants. He's not taking into account anything that's happening around him or the feelings of any of the people that he cares about. So it's like he wants to save all these people. It's almost like he's saying, well, you guys are too dumb to realize you need to be saved by me. And it's like, but Eren, you're not taking into consideration any of Armin or Mikasa's thoughts or feelings about any of this. It's just... Ignorance is a friend. And I'm hoping as we get into this and we get to Ymir and the paths and things that I'm... Around this point, I was really getting mad with Eren. I was really getting frustrated with him. And up through this manga, I felt a better understanding of Eren. But it's like... It's just like history was bound to repeat itself. I'm like, come on now. Maybe the manga will give me a better appreciation as we go. But, oh, I'm frustrated with him. And Levi's like, I'm going to kill your corpse. You'll probably spell the end for your grandparents. Oh my God, Levi. Oh. If this secret plan of yours is real, I wouldn't mind waiting a little longer before slicing you to pieces. I don't care either way. I think you need to let me meet Eren first. Gabby and Falco in their cell. And Mikasa at the graveyard. If we don't win, we die. If we win, we live. And Eren, oh yeah. And if we don't fight, we can't win. Tatakai. Oh, Eren looks a little, his back, he has like little scrawny bump bones of his spine there, even though he has his 8-pack. Telling himself in the mirror that he has to fight. Oof, with the hair up, just like, it's funny because now his hair is up in the ponytail like Gabby's was, and Gabby's hair is all down like Eren's was. Parallels. And the thing about it is that Mikasa's like, well, if we don't fight, if we don't win, we die at this stage. And if we win, we live. But the way that she looks in the graveyard, she's like, what does it even mean to live anymore if this is how we have to do it? And Eren doesn't even, Eren is convincing himself. He's like, we have to fight to win. He's like, I have to fight. I have to do this. It's like Eren doesn't want to do this, but he's convinced himself there's no other options. And this is the only choice that he has when... As we talk about this, there were options, but you just ran yourself into a corner where there weren't any anymore. Oh my God. Oh my God, poor Eren though. In this, where he's like at the kick me sign and they splash the water on him. Bullying isn't cool. No. Oh my God. And because of my dark night. What'd you do, Eren? There's rumors you did something awful to Historia. I love they're all like protecting Historia. Like, oh my God. What should I do? Who knows what happened to me if I said I made it all up? He's like, who are you? What'd you say I did? I think you know. Oh my God, what? Why is he like biting her head? Oh my God. This is why we don't spread rumors about people. This is why we don't do that. Oh my God. Oh. In other words, Hanji, I want to know, what can you do? If there's another way, tell me what it is. Peace can't be attained through ideals alone. How many sacrifices have to be made to lay the foundation for peace? And that is what's so frustrating, because I know a lot of people will give me grief, and they did in the anime, and so I'm fully ready for such things where they gave me grief being like, well, Armin's ideals aren't enough alone, like blah blah blah. Yes, and I think that's what Armin's lamenting right now. Armin's like, yeah, he's like, I don't know what to do. I know that there are other ways that things could go down, but we didn't try to do them back then, and now we're suffering for it. So I do agree with Isayama here that you can't just have an ideal of peace alone. You have to work for it. And that's what's going to come out with Niccolo and Mr. Browse's conversation later. The thing that always sticks with me is Niccolo saying, you keep trying, even if you fail. Even if it goes back to the words that were said to Grisha, even if you die, you keep going, even if you die, beyond your death, you keep trying to fight for peace. But Eren isn't fighting for peace at this point. Eren has given up on the idea that peace is even attainable. And so Eren's like, well, we aren't doing anything for peace. It's not working out, so this is the only option I have. And Armin's like, but it isn't. You just have to, we have to get both sides willing to come to the table. And right now that was a work in progress. And now Eren, like Armin's saying, Eren has shattered all possibilities of that seemingly by what he's done. Armin's like, we were trying to do that, but you ruined it. So it's like, I definitely believe that Isayama, you know, he uses a story to show like the worst case scenarios and how people get driven into corners. And it's exaggerated because it's an anime and a manga, right? But there has to be a sacrifice laid down for peace. That's the part of it. There is a compromise that has to be attained, right? In order to have peace, you have to compromise. You have to sacrifice one thing to lay down the foundation. And Eren doesn't want to Eren's thing is he doesn't want any sacrifices on the people he cares about. He doesn't want anybody that cares about the sacrifice for the sake of peace. So he's like, I'll just get rid of all of our obstacles and then we won't have to worry about anything. And Armin's like, no, we may have to die to establish peace, but it would be worth it. And it shows how much Eren and Armin's ideals and goals have drifted from each other, or how far apart they were to begin with. And we just didn't realize it until it's put into action. But I'm very curious to know your thoughts down below. Oh, Eren's gonna give me a run this time, isn't he? He is gonna give me trouble. But this volume's hard. It was really good. This volume was really, really good, but it was hard. And it's only gonna get harder from here. I'm like, damn it. I'm already to volume 30, 27. We have 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. We have 6 volumes until 6 weeks until the final anime, and then the last 2 volumes, 33 and 34. You know, nothing big. It's fine. Oh man, 6 weeks until the final anime is just, it's all building up to that, but oh my god. I like Isayama's like, you know what, you had to suffer a lot. Let me give you a hot shot of Eren. It's like, that's not the one we wanted. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, we'll just see what's happening next week on Attack on Titan. Bye.